I always seem to have more leather wraps than I'm trying to work in. So I'm gonna show you two different ways that I wrap steel, and I'm gonna bend some steel. So the first one really doesn't require any equipment, just the steel that you're gonna bend, a couple of rubber bands. I do one rubber band per wrap, and your feet. It really is not that exciting. You just take a leather wrap, put your foot on one end, take your steel, pull against your foot, so you have to kind of put some force down on your foot to keep it from just sliding backwards. But put the steel where you want it in the wraps, pull backwards, and roll the steel. Take a rubber band, and I tend to put the rubber band closer down towards the end of the nail. For double, sometimes I'll put the rubber band like a bit further out, but for single leather or any single wrap, really, the rubber band over here isn't doing much. You want the rubber band to really hold the end of the nail tight. Other side as well, try not to get too tripped up with which side you're rolling it. Theoretically, Tom Fletcher put a video on a while ago where he recommended having your wraps so that they kind of roll with your finger down, but it's not the end of the world if you mix them up once or twice. Same as before, just my foot on the end of the wrap, pull it tight. Yeah, see, I messed that one up. Really doesn't matter, but one of the wraps goes one way and the other one wrap goes the other way. Not the end of the world. I don't have a measuring stick, but my thumb is about 1.5 inches, so. The other way is the way that I tend to like more for like competitions and certifications, and that involves either a table, so I have a folding workbench that I use. I also use a workbench in the common room of my apartment, but you don't necessarily need any of that stuff. One thing you need is a piece of wood. I found this. It is about 2 foot long, a little less than 10 inches wide, and I think it's 3/4 plywood. Place it down on the ground. Notice how I'm doing all this sitting on the ground. Get your wrap ready. I have a couple of these clamps. They're cheap. You can get them at Harbor Freight, you can get them at Home Depot, Lowe's, etc., etc. This is just a way to apply slightly more force than the standard pony grippers that are used in the pony pinch kit Ken Empire Works sells. They're also available at Home Depot, Lowe's for like $1, $2. These ones are like 10-ish, I want to say maybe 12. And this allows me to get like really tight, yanking on this, it's not going anywhere, wrap on the leather, or excuse me, really tight wrap around the nail, and you can like pull down after every little bit you roll up, pull down, and so on and so forth. I don't know what happened to the other rubber band I had, but this is also how I will do double wraps. I'll take the one end, line it up kind of with the rest of the first wrap ends, and do the same things before. I just pull it tight, roll it a little bit, pull it back some more, roll it a little more, pull it back a little more, roll it up a little more, etc., etc. Probably sitting in the rubber band. Yep. For double, since there's a bit more like holding everything together, I sometimes will kind of extend the rubber band out a bit more. But and this is on a nail with the head of the nail in the wrap, so it is gonna have some wiggle to it, but that's in there. Just for the sake of argument, I'm gonna take the bubbles off and actually bend this now. Not the tightest wrap I've ever done, but it's tight enough to hold it in there. Again, this is the one with the head, and this is the nail part. You can yank it off, but it's pretty solidly in there. If it matters, I mark my steel. I didn't mark these, but I usually mark my steel 1 inch and 3/4 from each end. And I put that as the end of where my wraps start. And then I'll usually mark the middle just so I can tell if I'm wildly off center. And if you do get off center, there's a great video by Delmar Carter about how to use Cordura wraps, as well as what to do if you get off center. Jan Heller also has a video on doubles wraps where he'll do Cordura wraps on the inside and then his leather wraps on the outside. Experiment, figure out what works best for you, and have a good time. And still, yeah, that one was a little more off center, but hope that helps.